This is Right About Now with Ryan Alford, a Radcast Network production. We are the #1 business show on the planet with over 1 million downloads a month. Taking the BS out of business for over 6 years and over 400 episodes. You ready to start snapping necks and cashing checks? Well, it starts right about now.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Right About Now. Hey, it's our weekly business news of the week here on August the 9th, 2024. It's Friday. Hope you're having a great day. It's Friday. Be happy, right? Don't worry, be happy. It's Friday. It's the weekend, baby. You're in a good mood. You're listening to Right About Now, and you've got my good friend Chris Hansen right across the bow from me, at least in my view. But he's down in hot Miami. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? Happy to be here as always.
Yes. And we do have the lovely Brianna here. What's up, Brianna?
Hey, guys.
We got
Hey,
that.
Brianna.
We gotta cover all the gamuts here. We need a little break from all the testosterone of Chris and I, right?
A little
Exuding
feminine
it.
energy.
Yeah, a little feminine energy. So it's good to cover all the bases. I hope you're, wherever you are, whenever you're listening to this, you're fabulous. Thank you for keeping us #1 on the charts on Apple, growing. Our download numbers on Spotify are hot. Our YouTube channel has tripled its subscribers the last 3 months. We thank you for that. Go watch this. You got to see Chris in person to believe it. You know, you just can't listen to him. Got to see it to believe it, baby. What's happening, Chris?
Another day, man. Another day. Summer's coming to a close.
Yep.
So I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I got kids back in school, all officially back in, locked in that
Made
thing.
it.
I got a high schooler, dude. My oldest is in high school.
That's wild.
I don't like those milestones. I don't pay attention to that much. Like, okay, they're in school, middle school, no big deal. But something about my oldest in high school is making me not necessarily feel old, but making him seem old.
Yeah.
I still feel young, but I'm like, hey, you're a tall, handsome man. When did you become this? You blink and it happens. So proud of Clayton. He's in high school. Got his driver's permit too, baby. I haven't ridden with him yet.
I was going to say, so your wife is doing most of the practice?
Well, my ex-wife, Clayton's with the ex. She took him this week to get the permit, and so he's got it. So he'll be driving this weekend. Be like to figure out to buy like a station wagon or something for him to drive. I don't know if I want him driving the Audi or the Range Rover.
Nah, get him in a Subaru Outback or something.
Yeah, nah. Like you could drive Nicole's Infinity. It's kind of the shaggin' wagon, as we call it. It's the family truckster.
Love it.
Yes. So all you parents out there, you know what we're talking about. Kids back in school, stock market dropping like it's hot. I think it's rebounded a little bit, but the Japan stock market had its worst day. I mean, you're gonna see these highs and lows, obviously, Chris. It's like it's gonna happen. Like,
yeah.
Number one, we know there's some overinflation, pun intended, of the market based on a lot of variables that don't totally make sense. But you're gonna see these rides of peaks and valleys, I think, and no more. I mean, 12.4% loss in one day is significant. What makes you all this?
Whole years of gains wiped out one day.
One day. Gone. It's like, whoa.
The game.
I mean, I think that they've obviously bounced back this week, but I do think I'm sort of been telling people this. I'm not hugely, obviously I have my investments and things like that, but like not like knee deep in the stock market the way some people are.
Right.
So I kind of like have my set it and forget it stuff. And then there's this, so this stuff kind of, not that it doesn't matter, but I'm like, just not going to overreact. But I think you're going to see, I certainly think we're going to go down more than we're going to go up the next 6 months.
Yeah.
It certainly feels that way.
Yeah, and then you factor in it's an election year where that's a whole other set of variables, right? Because the economy is always a huge debate topic. So I'm like you. I saw it happen. Even crypto, obviously, followed suit, went down. Like some of my stuff went down 30%. Luckily, I was locked out of my phone, so I kind of missed the reaction of wanting to trade or sell or anything. And I kind of was like, all right, dude, like you said, it goes down and goes back up, peaks and valleys, cyclical. It's not worth the energy of getting so emotionally drained about it.
Yeah, 100%. But I will say this, when Warren Buffett is pulling like half his money out of all stocks, he's
55% of his Apple stock sold.
Here's what I know. That guy's smart. He knows the stock market way better than the average Joe. And I think that says something. So he even said it says everything's sort of overpriced. He's like, I want to put money in, but I don't really know where I want to put it when I feel like everything's a little overvalued right now. So I'll take his advice, and taking it out of Apple is sort of eye-opening as well, because look, that's sort of like one of those like sacred cow stocks. It's like, all right, just keep it there. But even he's taking 55% out. So
I wonder if he bought back in when it went down.
And sometimes like exactly 100%. So like sometimes this is my sort of take. Sometimes the truth is there for the learning if you want it. And when people like Warren Buffett are pulling their money out, you can ignore that or you can not. And let's just say if I had more than I already do in the stock market, I would not be ignoring that. So do with that what you may. And so I think everything's a little overinflated. We've had this, like increases. It's the little that I follow it daily. Like I follow it like again in the macro, not in the micro. Like I'm not a day trader. Right. And I think day traders can make money, doing what they do, no matter what the market is. So I'm sure there's, if you're a day trader, you're going, oh, it doesn't really matter what's happening. I know it doesn't. I know how your game works, but
it's better for them.
Yeah, the volatility. So they're making bets at both directions. And so there's still money to be made. But I think as a whole, though, it says something about sort of where the state of the economy is when Warren Buffett's making the moves that he is and some of the other moves that you see. So I don't know where this is going. And I also think, we've sort of made it clear where we lie in the belief support system of political candidates. But regardless, I think it's going to be sort of a tough thing for the candidates to like own or push off like any one day. While I agree that Trump, and I believe he is the better candidate for us for a lot of reasons, I do think it's a slippery slope for him to try to own any one day going, well, I told you so. Well, yes, but then we've bounced back. So I think it's going to be sort of a slippery slope to try to own one day of results from the stock market. It's sort of going to be the net of sort of the next few months leading up to the elections, right?
Yeah, they're going to take in a macro level look at it. And I'm interested to hear from, both parties kind of how they approach it and what their plan is and how they explain this dip, right? So, because I think even there's a lot of variables outside of even their control, right? The Federal Reserve doesn't answer to the President of the United States. So.
Exactly. And so interest rates will play a big part of that. I firmly believe that the party in power will do everything in their power to sort of make the variables align as best they can control.
Sure.
To not hurt their chances. Because, you think about the one time that I did, I'm like, what was it, Hillary Clinton back in the day? What she had the whole thing released like right before, like 2 months before the election. I forget what it was, like whether it was like the collusion was false, the leak, all that stuff was like, I don't think they're gonna repeat that mistake. I'll just say that. But the truth gets out. Hopefully the truth can just get out, regardless of what they're trying to do, right?
Yeah.
We'll
Transparency.
Yeah, good luck. I did find it interesting, the VP candidate that Kamala named, Tim Walz.
Another kind of sleeper cell that I've never heard much about.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, where has this woman living? Oh, well, he's been in Minnesota. I mean, I hadn't heard about Minnesota since it burned down 4 years ago. And so that reminded me of what it was. And when he was, watched all that and, lower the police, less police. Come on. Obviously, they've learned their lesson now. But let me just say this. He's getting known for all these catchphrases. So great. He called J.D. Vance and Trump the weirdos. Well, that introduction last night, I haven't seen anything as weird on stage. And look, not to overshadow the strangeness of Kamala's husband kind of shaking before he kissed her. I'd be shaking too, baby. But Tim Walz and his sleepover friend or buddy, also known as wife, that hug was weird. And look, this is not if we're really going to get down to these lower levels of politics, like, just be careful, because weird is weird. If we're going to get into the weird talk that has nothing to do with policies, then I'm going to call a spade too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, and I feel like this has been a lesson in life is like, if someone strikes you, if something looks awkward or cringy or weird, it's because it is. It's fake. It's not authentic.
Yes.
Right? Like, we all have some awkward friends. Sure. Like, they hug a little weird, right? Little pat on the back. But it's like, come on, man. Like, the red flags are there. Trust your gut. If something strikes you, like, let's be real, dude.
Exactly. Brianna, what as a woman, what did you make of the, from a woman's perspective, the hug?
I can tell you when somebody doesn't want to hug a man or woman. I mean, there's a reason. If I want to hug somebody, I'm going all in,
Yeah, they were like, it's almost like it's like they hadn't been physical in so long. They really had no idea what to do. They didn't go in for the kiss, so they almost went for the side hug. And they're like, no, we got to at least hug. Like, it was like.
That's a great way of putting it. It's like, this is so far from normal for us that this is weird, which it's a red flag maybe in your marriage.
And, okay, well, we're going to get it back down to the policies here shortly, but he's the oldest looking 60-year-old I've ever seen. I just thought he was maybe 74 or something. And now he's 60. So I don't know.
Maybe that Minnesota winner.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want, your children to be able to change their gender and have those rights with or without your knowledge, if you want your city to get burned down, and there's a lot of these issues are more complex than I'm going to get into here on the business show. I'm just saying, just go follow the trail to know what and who you're voting for and who you're supporting. All weird hugs aside.
I think that's a great point. Like the hotline, right? He set up during COVID to basically snitch on your neighbors, right? Your neighbors going along with no mask and Bill's outside. Ask yourself, is that the world you want to live in? Do you want to be at your house and have your neighbor where it becomes like that? Because that's something seems so foreign and odd to me. But it's like, all right, this is how this guy thinks. This is his policy direction. That's not a world I want to live in.
Last thing I'm going to say, if politics is a popularity concert, kind of pun intended there, accident, Freudian slip, like Harris and this Walz guy look like the oddest non-popular people of all time. Like, it's like, so it shouldn't be a popularity contest. It should not be about weirdness. It needs to be about policy. But geez, like,
well, when all you have to do is call somebody weird, it's because you don't have any like ground to stand on.
Well, yeah, for sure. And I grew up, the pot doesn't call the kettle black. So whatever that weird hug was, just keep the weird comments. Come on, Walz. Like, come on. Like, you are the definition of weird. You and your wife, whatever y'all are doing there. And look, hey, maybe you're not a physical relationship anymore. It's obviously a relationship of comfort and convenience and strange hugs. So anyway, back to the business. Summer Olympics viewership is up, and Snoop Dogg is part of the buzz. I'm going to go ahead and admit that I just thought it was odd that he was on, like, when I first saw him, Like, and I wasn't grading from okay, what's this doing with viewership? Or is Gen Z going to think he's cool? Like, it wasn't that. It was just more just like, okay, we're talking about athletic greatness. And so he has brought some of a comedic interest to it. So I can admit that, but it just seemed a little like left field for me. But look, it served their purpose, I guess. Viewership for the Summer Olympics in Paris so far has been blowing past the 21 Tokyo Games, and the opening ceremony scored a bigger audience than Rio did in 2016. Hip-hop artist and entertainer Snoop Dogg's role in the Paris Olympics has been a big part of the draw. It is generating a lot of social media buzz. Snoop Dogg, his first role in the Olympics was a highlight show with Kevin Hart in 2021, has been growing his relationship with NBC. He'll also be a new judge on The Voice this fall. So I guess you can't argue with the results of the viewers, so it's obviously bringing in sort of a younger audience. It was a little...
I will say, like, my family in Europe, my cousins over there, they love, like, the 90s, 2000s hip-hop. Like, the Snoop Dogg's, the Tupac, like, the real classic hip-hop is huge in Europe. So I could see him having a big fan base over there that, you know, in America, he's kind of like a spokesperson for everything, right? Kind of like Kevin Hart. Like, he's doing insurance commercials. He's doing food. He did, we talked about it, the fire company, right?
Yeah. Smokeless fire
promotion. So it's like, I look at him like one of those internationally recognized just celebrities. But
yes,
I agree with you. It's a little weird. Like, these are the top athletes in the world, and we have like the top pot smoker basically in the world, you know? Like,
well, I think it's Molly Solomon, who's NBC's executive producer of the Olympics, referred to Snoop Dogg as an ambassador of happiness.
Hey, I'll give him that. His energy's great. He's always bringing a good vibe to whatever he's doing.
That's true. I do. I haven't like. It was kind of like, what the hell is he doing on the opening ceremony part? Like, I was kind of like left field. The sort of interplay way they've worked him within the events themselves, though, I do think have been entertaining. So I give them credit for, look, you're selling entertainment, you're selling sports. So I get it. It's been successful, and that doesn't surprise me. And I like him from an entertainment perspective. I think it's just part of me, though, deep down, that's like, our athletic greatness and as an ambassador for the, you know, of the U.S., it's like, a little shaky there. But what do you think, Brianna?
I mean, I think it's interesting. I think like this is a world stage. This isn't just a U.S. stage, right? And what it does to me, it points the question in my brain of like, are we great as a nation? Are we great as athletes? Or are we just trying to entertain people?
Yeah, well, I think
good point.
It's a great point, and I think, you know, if you're NBC, you're going for ratings because you sold a lot of ads that you gotta pay for. You gotta pay for. So I agree. Like, that's what I said. I kind of get on the side that you just described of what the right thing to do is and what the, you know, appropriateness of it is, and then
kind of like Super Bowling the Olympics in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's right.
Because I feel like the Super Bowl is a very entertainment hybrid sports event. But there's equal hype on the entertainment, the commercials, the halftime performances. This gives me that same vibe.
Here's what we won't know the answer to, but I'll go down this road. It was successful, so that she can check like her job and the job of NBC, sell more ads, more viewers, success. It's kind of like that. Does the means justify the end? Like, you know, like you got there, he was successful, but could you have done it more wholesomely or with the right type of person, like that maybe more better alignment with the games? And we won't know the answer to that. And so since they were successful, they'll point to this. I think what we're raising, though, is, could it have been that same blend with a better representation, maybe?
And where do we go from here? If this is what's entertaining and what's selling and what's getting viewership, what is going to be next Olympic Games? And what is it for every 4 years?
Yeah.
So what are we going to have to do in 4 years to, increase, and surpass the viewership that this brought?
Yeah, you're gonna have to continue to entertain. It's like the Super Bowl, like like Chris
More
said.
Hollywood.
More Hollywood. And look, I'll say this: the gold we are leading, and maybe by the time this airs, after we've recorded it, we're even further ahead or something. But I was sort of like, you can't be about the sizzle and forget the steak. But we are leading the medals as well. If it's all show and no go, but the athletes are kicking ass. So they're doing their job as providing the excellence in athleticism which the United States represents. And then you've got the show of displaying that excellence. And it's sort of, again, it's hard to argue with the results. I'm just not so sure we couldn't get there a different way that might feel more representative. But again, I'm not the executive producer, but
I'm sitting here thinking like who would have been better. I'm like Michael Jordan, someone of that caliber. Like, I don't know.
Well, they had the quarterback. He was on for opening ceremony, the announcer, Peyton Manning. There we go. Hey, Peyton Manning. And Peyton Manning's kind of hokey and funny. Could he have carried the whole thing like Snoop Dogg? I'm not saying he could have, but he's at least representative of sort of athletic greatness as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. And he could have carried the entertainment angle in a similar way with other athletes that are maybe entertaining. So, I mean, there's a lot of ways to sort of skin this cat. It's just choosing this direction, It didn't sit with me wonderfully in the opening ceremony, but I will say this. I want to talk. I like to not talk out of both sides of my mouth, but I'm going to a little bit here. He has been warm, like Snoop has been warm and engaging with like the family members of the athletes. He has looked very clear-eyed in every interview and every scene I've seen him. He seems to be taking this he represents something that I don't love. Again, even being a supporter of sort of plant-based things, he represents sort of like a mental mindset that I don't love for us. I do think he has been pretty nurturing and sort of wide-eyed awake in these representations that I've seen, for what it's worth. Again, could we have done better? Probably, but.
Yeah, I've heard him referred to as America's grandpa or like something like that, like granddaddy Snoop.
Yeah. And everyone deserves a chance to sort of change their rep a little bit too. If he's going to be Mr. Happy Vibes and not just Mr. Smoke a Lot, then I can give him, grace and ability to do that. But at the same time, be like, oh, could we have represented better? Maybe. It feels like it, maybe. I don't know. Peyton Manning might have gotten old. Who knows? I mean, do you like Peyton Manning, Chris?
Yeah, it's a totally different vibe.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking, do two people, like do Tom Brady and Kevin Hart,
Yeah.
But Snoop is one of these, like even my parents know who he is, right? And even they're kind of like, oh, he's entertaining. Like he has rebranded from like, the street Compton hip hop rapper smoking weed, but
even The Rock,
I don't know, man.
And The Rock, I don't love his sort of side too, but he's a freaking athlete. Right. I mean, he's a pro athlete on multiple levels, and I don't love his, whole,
what
shtick
I've thought
sometimes.
This whole time, though?
Yeah,
like a play, from your book. It's shock marketing. It's gonna get people talking.
Yeah.
It's a curveball.
It's
you don't expect to see
newsjacking. Like that's what it is. It's like gets people talking, and you got these little vignettes, and that's what it's been successful. But it could have been more representative. Who knows? That's what we are. We have opinions. We share them, right? Speaking of the Olympics, I don't even know, from a business standpoint, it's the whole gender controversy It's like how many we got to think about this now. How many chromosomes does somebody have, right? This is all over my pay grade. It's as a biologist or whatever way, like.
You're not a biologist, but I see where you're going there.
Yes. But can we just not have men hitting women like in the, I mean, biological men, whether they were born that way or whether they weren't, maybe they have a penis, maybe they don't. I don't care. But like, if they're a man, don't hit a woman. Like, sorry, like you got to fight with the guys, right? Isn't it just that simple?
It seems, in my mind, it's that simple. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, I'm in the medical business, right? I own a laboratory for testing. It's very black and white, right? We test someone's bodily fluids, blood, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It's very black and white, and that's where all this stuff to me is just, I can't even say what I feel about it because it's just so crazy. Like, it's just so black and white and simple that it's like, I don't even know what to say besides it's just dudes shouldn't fight women.
Yeah.
Like,
and we need clear tests that determine if you're biologically male or female. It needs to be standardized and it needs to be cut and dry. This doesn't need to be hard.
I know there's others, like there's even more complicated births and stuff where there is unique situations, right? Chromosomes and your biology and anatomy might not necessarily match from what I understand, right? So it's like, sure, there's those instances, but like, if that's this instance, then please elaborate, because all that we're seeing is like two dudes are fighting in the women's boxing championships.
Unneeded controversy. Brianna, what do you think there? You think some dudes should be fighting women?
Here's what I think. I think that if there is this, right, like genetic abnormality that's super, super rare, it's like, what are the odds that you made it all the way to, fighting in the Olympics? Like, what are those odds? It's very interesting to me. And for that to happen twice, that's what's not making quite enough sense to me. And then just answer the question, right? Like, there's been lots of news articles. If you dig deep enough, you can find, experts that will speak on what they believe, but nobody has come out and said what the genitalia is, and genitalia is how we determine gender. So, not anymore maybe, but I think like that should be the question before you're fighting in any division. Weight and gender.
It seems so easy, but seems yet so complex. Back to the business. Jeff Bezos' family office is making big investments in AI. All the investments made this year by the Bezos family office, called Bezos Expeditions. Just got expeditions, just spending money. I'm actually, I need to. You got so much money, you're just going to call them expeditions. We're going on a new expedition here. We're going to spend a lot of money today, son. We're going after it. I could see, they have been, a lot of those have been in artificial intelligence, according to data provided by FINTRX, a private wealth intelligence platform. Bezos Expeditions has always tilted heavily towards tech. Fully 70% of the family office's investments are in technology. According to the UBS Global Family Office Report, AI is now the favorite investment category for family offices. Okay, so back to what we said, let's just follow the breadcrumbs here. We talked, about Berkshire Hathaway. They're selling all their stocks. Okay, so Bezos is spending more money on AI than anything else. So AI is real. It needs to not be ignored, and is growing. Simple things here. But Bezos is a smart guy. He knows where things are headed. It says Jeff Bezos has been making headlines for his big ticket purchases from a $165 million estate in LA and a $177 million property on Miami's Indian Creek. That's right next to you, right, Chris? Because you're in Indian Creek, right? To his $500 million yacht club. Okay. He's got a lot of money. It's all this AI and lots of money from Bezos. How many millions did you invest in AI this week, Chris?
0.01. My ChatGPT monthly subscription fee. But when you say this, it's kind of what you said earlier about Warren Buffett of like, maybe follow their lead a little bit, right?
Yep.
Like, follow the breadcrumbs. AI's not going anywhere.
No.
Follow the money, baby.
Follow the money. Did you put $100 million in your AI investments this week, Brianna?
You know, I didn't, but I keep asking myself, what is on a $500 million yacht? I want to see that.
Everything.
Yeah, everything. A mall.
Everything you want.
Everything you want. And everything.
It's a
nothing
city
you need
on water.
Yeah, it's a city. It's got a floating hospital, mall, arcade. Just
like, why do you
casino.
need that? How often do you use that?
It's called a freaking, just go ahead and call it what it is. It's one of those cruise lines. Like, right?
Yeah, he's got a personal cruise ship.
Personal cruise ship.
I would be on that shit all the time. I would live on that. Then you're an international resident. There's also some tax advantages to that. You're under different laws.
Or if I get one of those on Lake Kiwi, you know?
I mean, you already like to work from your boat. There you
I
go.
do.
Hey, you'd be a real head turner up there, buddy.
Hey, 75-foot houseboat, not enough. I need, 500 mil cruiser. What are things called? Cruise ship. I have seen these big. Have you seen Perplexity AI? So that if you guys, it's pretty interesting little search engine. I still don't feel like it's compelled me. Like I played around with it, but I just didn't get compelled to use it over and above Google. Like I'm still going.
Well, and Google's incorporated AI now in the search automatically.
Yep,
I've noticed.
Oh yeah.
I don't know who's powering that.
There's like a human being like back behind the curtain, like pay no attention. But it's like the Wizard of Oz, because like you have to wait a second for it to type. It's like thinking.
Yeah.
You hit the search and it's like you've got the search, but then it's got the AI typewriter going. He just has like
It's a VA in the Philippines.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Typing 120 words per minute.
Yes, he has 7 million VAs in the Philippines, like catching each one of those searches.
Oh God.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be amazing.
And
AI's really just made up. It's just a bunch of people in call centers in the Philippines typing everything in manually.
how funny would it be when, like, it's not, I know it is, but like
It would be
generative
funny.
AI is just totally the biggest hoax ever. It's like,
It would be so funny.
just, so it's truly a bunch of Oompa Loompas or whatever, whatever this, what were they called in The Wizard of Oz?
Willy Wonka?
Yeah, no, well, Willy Wonka was Oompa Loompas, but all the people in The Wizard of Oz anyway. Those things.
Munchkins?
The Munchkins, or what, maybe.
Is that it?
Yeah, I guess. So,
I don't know. I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
but Perplexity AI, I mean, I get the feeling that a lot of stuff he's banking on here. Some of this is outward facing, but a lot of it's just like the tech that's helping, like that's going to make his manufacturing go faster, his packaging go faster, shipping go faster, systems, processes. Because I think that's sort of where we're going with this. Like we see the stuff like that we use in everyday life, and even in an ad agency for content generation and all those kind of things. But a lot of this stuff is like the brain power to sort of power these systems and machines and robotics behind the scenes, whether it's to hopefully not like come kill us like in some of the movies, but hopefully like just get our packages to us faster, right? I need that Prime
like a
back,
vertical
baby.
integration.
Remember when Prime? Hey, make Prime again. Because remember when it was definitely a day or two? I mean, that shit's like 4 or 5 days now.
I was going to say, I'm still pretty.
Yeah, was it fast?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just that all of it comes in from
Fast
China,
here.
and you were in California.
It's
A lot closer.
It's hard to wait in South Carolina. I will tell you that.
See, you got
Damn,
spoiled,
you guys,
baby.
You guys are out in the sticks, waiting 4 days out in the boonies.
Yeah. You get
Shit.
your stuff in a day, Chris, in Miami?
Yeah, like sometimes like 12 hours.
Dude, no wonder.
But they probably have a massive fulfillment distribution center. You know what I mean?
Yeah, South Carolina, you're 2 days at best, and then sometimes longer. I'm like,
Damn, you might have to go to the actual store.
Exactly. Oh yeah, let's make Prime I mean, I'm like, I thought I'm paying for Prime, but I'm getting Mom.
Well, luckily for you, Bezos is investing in it.
Yeah, he needs to.
Just for you.
He's a Series A right here in South Carolina. Bring it to life. But said Bezos recently filed stock sale plan to unload another $5 billion worth of Amazon shares this year, after selling $8 billion worth earlier this year. With more than $13 billion in cash, Bezos will now have even more money to bet on the AI boom. It's just monopoly money, baby. Just move that thing around. You know, we've got some really wealthy people at the top here, between Bezos and Elon and Berkshire Hathaway, i.e., all of it. You know where you need to spend your money. We're talking about all these big dollars. You need to spend it on our sponsor, Branded Bills. Look, it's all about the hats. Chris has got the vacay hat on, or is it Vibe Science? I can't tell. There's Vibe Science hat. He's got it on. He's got Vibe Science. I got the Right About Now hat. And look, we talk about the hats. Yeah, look, come for the hats, stay for the hoodies. I'm telling you right now, be the spark. So our Vibe Science brand, check that out, vibescience.media. We got a top 10 building wellness podcast that Chris and I do. Hey, we talk about the business, but then we talk about the real business with health, happiness, love, all the high vibes. But look, now that I have this, it's like a comfortable blanket, Chris. I don't know what this is.
They're legit.
I think I'm going to call it Egyptian heaven. Whether it's cotton or not, I don't know. But it's like, I don't even want to give it up. It's like a warm blanket that I don't want to lose. I got T-shirts. And look, if you're listening and watch this, shoot us a DM. We'll send you some merch. We'll send you one. Send me something. Tell me a joke or something. We got these, taking the BS out of business. That's what we're doing every day. There we go. High quality. Look, I'm telling you, the stitching on this, you even get this leather tag. I was just impressed. The first thing I saw when I got these in, I was like, wow, these are nice T-shirts. I was just impressed with the leather tag, Chris. I was like, that's quality right there. You know what that is? That's branding. Branded Bills. You want the best for your brand. Custom designs. They did all this for us. We sent them the logos, sent them some of the taglines. They did it. We've got hoodies, T-shirts, beanies. Speaking of leather, that's the OG patch right there, the Radcast. Chris, I know you love them. You're wearing them. You're rocking it today.
Yeah, boy.
We appreciate them. They're the official merch sponsor of Right About Now and Ryan Alford. Go to brandedbills.com, hit that custom button up in the top right. Get your order on. I'm telling you, this will make you more sales than any of that cold calling. Send one of these custom tees, hoodies, hats. It'll warm up that cell. It'll warm up your heart. It'll warm up your body because it's a hoodie. We appreciate them. Branded Bills, official merchandise sponsor of Right About Now. Oh, man. What else we got here today? Deadpool and Wolverine reign again with massive second weekend. I have not seen this. My kids talk about it, but it's R-rated, so it's not really in their, a 15-year-old, he's getting close. He's also very mature. I'll probably let him see it if he wants to. But then I'm getting to this thing with my kids now. They were all so young, they kind of all had the same rules when they were all kind of 10, 12 under. Now I've got an 8-year-old, a 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 15-year-old. We're having to separate the rules now, which is kind of complex. But anyway, sidebar. This has been crushing it at the box office, and surprisingly, or not surprisingly, but my kids aren't even bugging me because they know I'm not gonna let them go see an R-rated movie. But you guys get into these things? Deadpool. I know how big it is. So no one has to convince me of that, but
I mean, I love Ryan Reynolds, so yes. Just for that.
You had me at Ryan Reynolds. Chris?
I like it. It's a good movie. The original Deadpool 1 and 2, yeah, they're great, but I'm not going to line up at the movie theater.
Yes. I bet Sawyer, if I had to guess, you'd be a Deadpool guy. Am I wrong, or am I in left field, or you don't give a crap?
More like don't give a crap. I haven't watched really any of them.
All right. There we go. Okay. Seems like maybe your humor. But the Anyway, crushing it at the box office. I did see that M. Night Shyamalan has like a new movie out. I like his movies. Like this, they're sort of weird. Maybe think a little bit. I'm like more into that than like the bang me it up. Even though I know Deadpool's like just sort of smart comedy and sort of action and all that. But you guys get into those weird movies like M. Night Shyamalan stuff?
Nah.
Come on.
Last night, my buddy told me he went and saw yesterday, actually, that movie Trap.
Did he say it was any good?
I said it was entertaining.
Okay.
But I don't like watching all that like horror weird stuff. I don't want that in my subconscious.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Makes you think
I got
too
enough
much.
Demons inside me already, brother. I don't need any more darkness coming in.
See, I just got all the light inside me. Sometimes I just need something to make me think.
You need a little darkness.
Not darkness as much as just I like the good old like mystery days. Suspense and mystery, like where I'm trying to figure out, okay, where this is going.
A psychological thriller.
Psychological thriller. There's just not that many of those anymore, right?
No.
You know? Somebody to play with my head a little bit. The White House economic advisor heads to Harris campaign as stock market plunges. The senior economic advisor is leaving the White House to join the Harris campaign as the stock market took a historic tumble on Monday. Senior advisor Jen Sperling is leaving his administrative position to work with Vice President Kamala Harris, the AP reported on Monday. Be a senior economic advisor. Under Jen's leadership, the American Rescue Plan has delivered economic relief to cities and countries across the country, President Biden said to the Associated Press. It's just, you're seeing this stuff, but like the woman hasn't been in front of the media in like 3 weeks, has she? Like other than like the announcement with the vice president, there's been no talk of policy. I posted a video this week where she was asked about how she was going to change inflation. And it was like, she said everything but how. It was like she did a fourth grade recitation of what inflation is. Inflation's when prices go up. And it's dangerous when prices go up. Like, what?
I saw that video. I literally wrote on it, like, thank you for letting us know that inflation is high and goods cost more. I had like 900 people like the comment because she said nothing. It's like, which
absolutely nothing.
Sadly seems to be kind of common for her.
Yeah, I'm looking for substance. Finally today, Mr. Beast not having a couple weeks here. So YouTube's biggest star, Mr. Beast, is facing complaints about the safety of contestants from the preliminary round of his ambitious Beast Games game show. Some contestants complained online to other YouTube influencers that they lacked regular access to food, water, and medication during the early production at Allegiant Stadium. Mr. Beast said his team is reviewing the process, soliciting feedback ahead of the next phase of production. He had some blowback as well from a previous business associate, right, that may or may not have been doing inappropriate things. I think you know a little more about this than I do, Chris, right?
Yeah, his partner, another guy who I think like last year randomly decided to leave his wife and kid and transition to a female. And then it's come out now that he's been, pursuing or having sexual relationships with minors. So he had that come out with his partner, and then also some leaked old videos of Mr. Beast himself using some racial and homophobic slurs kind of surfaced. A lot of he's dealing with a lot this month. Got a lot going on.
Yeah, I think so.
To say the least.
Well, I mean, welcome to being big, but at the same time, like he needs to, sort of get a wrangle around these things. It can spiral quickly. Like you think about people that get to the top. I mean, I think of like Jared at Subway. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, like they get these personas like be out there, and then like it all tumbles. Now his was criminal, and I'm not suggesting Mr. Beast is criminal in any way. I don't know him or his enterprises. I'm just talking about more how fast the slippery slope of sort of negative, I don't know, news and energy when you get big and you got all these productions going. So got to tighten that ship up, I would say.
Yeah.
His how many billion followers or whatever. And I mean, my kids don't even like it, Mr. Beast anymore. It's not even cool to them anymore. So like, I don't know what that means. It's like a certain age group. I feel like it's like 6 years old to 10 years old or something. Because
That's funny because I've had 28-year-old people tell me, "Oh, do you watch Mr. Beast?"
Well, like, maybe it's getting older then.
And I'm like, no,
than younger.
Like,
it's like not even the cool kids anymore. Like the younger, it's like graduating up.
I've seen it come across my YouTube, but I've never watched it.
Yeah. That's what we got today, folks. Any final words, Brianna, Chris?
I kind of hope next week's news is like less crazy, but it won't be.
Yeah. It's just
Come
kinda all
back
over
next
the map.
week.
Exactly. You got the interest rates lowering, hopefully, and different things like that. Some standard business news. We're going to bring it to you like we see it. Chris, appreciate you, brother. Brianna, thank you.
Likewise.
Appreciate everyone for listening. You know where to find us, ryanisright.com. And hey, if you're a business leader, look, you need to leverage our podcast network, the radcastnetwork.com. We're blowing up all the shows on the network. If you thought about starting a podcast, thinking about it, or you're already a brand looking to maximize your growth, we know how to do it, the radcastnetwork.com. We appreciate everyone for listening. You can find us on social media at Chris Burby Hansen, at Ryan Alford. We'll see you next time on Right About Now.
This has been Right About Now with Ryan Alford, a Radcast Network production. Visit ryanisright.com for full audio and video versions of the show or to inquire about sponsorship opportunities. Thanks for listening.